Okay, thanks for tuning in. We're doing a quick review of this lens, the 24mm f8 filter lens, toy lens. It has three options. One is just a normal lens, not very sharp, certainly nowhere near as sharp as any other Fuji lens. The soft focus one is useless, totally useless. There is a setting on like the scene settings in Fuji cameras, and one of them is called soft focus, and that does what this is supposed to be doing much better, because it actually uses the sharpness of the lens that you're using. But this soft focus filter is useless. The cross filter I'll show you in a second is the sort of thing you would use once or twice. So, and all you do is you just move this thing around to get your different things, your different filters. So I generally have it on number one. It's marked there, and just leave it like that. And then if you want the others, they actually come on top of this piece of glass. So this is probably an okay piece of glass. The other two could be plastic for all I know. I don't know. Everything about the lens is plastic. It weighs something crazy like 30 grams or 32 grams. So it's tiny. Let's just compare it with the 27. I'll just take the caps off actually. So it's really not much difference to the 27, even though the 27 is more than double the weight. I think this 27 74 grams or something like that. But if you just want a lightweight lens to stick on your camera, if you're not sure if you're taking a camera out, I would always pick the 27 for sure. So if you're buying this lens, it's extremely hard to find. I just came across one for £85 not too long ago in Vietnam, and I decided to give it a go, and I don't regret it. It was about $100, and it's okay. It's not a particularly good lens, but you know, for that amount of money, I've actually found a use for it, which I'll talk about in a minute. So online, the only way I've found on ebay.com and ebay.co.uk is to buy it in silver from Japan, for $200. So this 143 is equal to $200, and then you've got to pay postage on top of that. So that's another £20, or yeah, $20. I mean, so it's $220 for a silver version. I'm really not a fan of the silver version. I think it looks pretty tacky, that. So yeah, I definitely don't recommend you buy it for that price. Unless you really love silver and like the look of the lens and want it, I don't recommend it. But if you can get one in black in decent condition like I did, for £85 or $100, then it's worth considering. Okay, let's show you a couple of pictures. Here we are. Start with the cross filter. So this is the sort of thing that you would use once or twice, you know, occasionally. I've used it twice just for the sake of using it. And what it does is any light bulbs, any sources of strong light, it gives you 4 crosses coming out of it. And it's as simple as that. There's another one, pretty messy, both terrible, but I'm sure someone could come up with something a bit more creative than that. Like at Christmas, maybe Christmas lights, or the holidays when there's lights out, it might just be usable occasionally. It's not the sort of thing you would use a lot. All right, let's just pull up some photos that I've actually taken with the lens. Like I said, this isn't a professional review, so I'm just pulling up random photos. So here you can see that it's reasonably sharp. That's reasonably okay. Let's get close up on his face. Not much detail in his face compared to other lenses, but the sharpness is there. And what I did to make this sharp, you might be able to tell, is that I've turned the clarity slider up. And if you're using Lightroom, you can turn the texture slider up. If you use the sharpness slider, I find it doesn't make a difference, because there just isn't that much information in the first place. So, you know, it's an unsharp lens. Your phone is going to be sharper than this. Okay, so this is a bit of an example of what I did. This made me decide how to use this lens, and I've decided to use this lens as a learner lens because I'm normally taking snapshots really fast. Like if I go out with my wife, she says, "Okay, but if you're going to start stopping every second and taking photos, then I'm not coming," or something like that. So I often say, "Okay, I'll come and I won't stop," and that means I take snapshots of people who look interesting. So, especially with the masks at the moment, this was a good excuse to go out, look for shadows, and basically look for shapes, and try and get into that kind of street photography, which is more highbrow. I do snapshot shot stuff, like the guy's face before, where he was pulling a face, like that. I just take snapshots. I was actually on an electric bike when I took that, so the F8 on a sunny day is fine without image stabilization. But this is heavily cropped, but there really is terrible detail there. It might actually be beyond the focal range as well. So yeah, I use it like a tool for these kind of photos. Where's the other one? Here. So I quite like this. This was from a bridge. I think this is the first day when I got it, or soon after. I was just going over a bridge in Vietnam. I didn't get his face, but it gave me a clue that go for shapes, like you've got the circular shapes here. Go for that rather than people's faces, rather than snapshots. And I think I've got a picture, a longer. Yep. No. Yeah. Okay. So this one actually is the same guy. He's just moved a bit. I actually edited the color more on the other one. And in the background, you can see that there is a little bit of bokeh. So the focal range of mine is 2 meters to 10 meters approximately. But I have heard somebody say on a forum, I think they said it goes to infinity. So maybe theirs started at 3 or 4 meters and then went to infinity. But for me, I really like this focal range at 24 millimeters. 2 meters to 10 meters, I know where I stand, and it's good, especially now that it's with all the lockdowns and distancing and stuff. I think in the future, once we're out of that, maybe I'll be a bit annoyed that it's not closer focusing, but for now, quite happy with it. So yeah, that's it. I use it as a learner lens. I really didn't enjoy going out last time with it because that was like the first day that I decided to use it as a learner lens, and I didn't prepare properly. So if you're going to use this, if I'm going to use this, I'm going to go out and I'm going to plan the day, and I'm going to make sure I go out when there's shadows early in the morning or late in the afternoon, and I'm going to work the scene rather than just going fast and taking snapshots. I know you ought to be taking quality pictures if you're doing that, but for me, I don't do it. I don't have the self-discipline. Even if I'm on my own walking, I tend to lose interest pretty quickly if no one's coming along. So this really kind of forces you to avoid characters, people's faces, and look at the geometry and the shadows and all that good stuff that you see with the more high-end, the quality Instagram photographers that you see out there. They often have these really pristine photos, and this is really to make me, become more of that kind of a photographer. I'm still going to take my snapshots because I love doing that, but I'd like to get into the geometry of it all and the leading lines and shadows and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's it. Can't really give this a rating out of 10 because it's a totally different lens. I mean, you could buy 7 Artisans lenses now and TT Artisans for less money than this, and they're definitely going to be sharper, they're definitely going to be faster. This is f8 fixed, aperture, focus fixed, so it is a very limited lens. I like that for this training reason. So I'm going to use it occasionally in places that I know, but if you're not going to use it for that, it's probably not a great lens for you, especially if you're going to buy it on eBay for $220. But if you think it might have a use for you, I would set up a watch thing on eBay, maybe under $100 or whatever you're prepared to pay, and then you'll get an email from eBay when one comes available. So yeah, might just be worth doing that. I wouldn't rush out to buy this lens or anything. It's really not that sharp. And you could buy like the Fuji XC35mm f2 for $200. So yeah, it's not a great lens, but it's very nice and small, especially if you've got a heavy camera and you like using the 27. It's very small. I got this just after selling the 23 f2 as well, so I was thinking it'd kind of fill it in a gap, but it doesn't really because it's not sharp enough. So yeah, that's it. Any questions in the comments, and thanks.